Hey everyone, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to start working on creating API routes for our posts. So first of all, inside the API folder, I'm going to create a new file, posts.js, and let's require this inside our server.js. So app.use. Our route is going to be /API and /posts, and we're going to require that /API and /posts. So inside this file again, we're going to need Express. So Express. And we're going to need the router. And let's export this. So module.exports router. And we are going to need our middleware. So const auth middleware, because every route in this file is going to be protected. And also we're going to need our models. So const user model, models and user model. And also we're going to need our post model and also the follower model. So we're going to use the follower model when we start working on a profile page, because we are only going to show the posts to the user of the users he's following. So we're going to use follower model for that. So inside this file, we are going to first of all create a post request. It is going to be for creating a post. So I'm going to make some comments here. Create a post. So it is going to be post request router.post. It is going to be on /API and /posts and our auth middleware. And we are going to receive a request and response. So inside here, first of all, we're going to destructure out from the request.body. We're going to receive text, location, and pick URL. So this pick URL is when if the user wants to provide an image with the post, we're going to upload that image on the Cloudinary and send the pick URL back inside this body. So it will be the same just like we did in our sign up page. And in here, we're going to check if text.length is less than 1. So we're going to return from here, return res.status 401.send. Text must be at least 1 characters. So now inside try catch, if there is any error, again, the logging the error is sending back this server error. So inside this, I'm going to create a new post. It is going to be an object. So in the post model, we have this user, text, location, pick URL, and likes and comments is an array. So first of all, our user is going to be request.userid. It is going to be from our middleware, because in our middleware, we set the user ID inside our request object. And then we're going to have text. And here we're going to check if location, then new post dot location is equals to location. And if pick URL, new post dot pick URL is equals to pick URL. So after this, we are going to create the post, await new post model, and inside here we're going to pass our new post dot save, and we're going to return back this post right here. So return res.json post. So let's test this request with the postman. Our route is going to be /API and /posts. In the body, I'm going to send in the text. Hi, this is first post from Jane Doe. And I'm going to send in the location. It is optional, but I'm going to send in for testing purposes. And we cannot send in the pick URL. If you want, you can search for any image on the Google and send in the pick URL property, but I'm going to leave it for now. We're going to do it on our front end. So I'm going to type in the location India, and our headers are checked. So let's post the request. and we get the post back. And the user is set to this user ID right here. So I'm going to also make a new post so that when we make a GET request, we can have 2 or 3 posts. So second post from Jane-Doe. So now back to VS Code, we are going to make a GET request to get all these posts. So I'm going to type a comment here, get all posts. It is going to be GET request, so router.get, and on our /API and /posts. And again, it is going to be a protected route, request and response. So inside try catch, again, if there is any error, and I recommend creating snippets because you can see I just have to type the prefix of the snippet and it fills out the code for me. So now we are going to find the posts. So post is equals to wait post model dot find, and we are going to sort these posts so that the recent posts are on the top. So we're going to sort it by created at, and it is going to be -1. And you can see right here in this suggestion, if you want in ascending order, you have to type in 1, and if you want in descending order, you have to type -1. And we are going to return these posts, so return res.json posts. So for now, we are only going to write this much code in this function, but when we start working on the profile page, we are going to send in the posts of the users the user is following. So let's check if it works. Inside our postman, I'm going to make a GET request here. And you can see right here, you get all the posts which are created. Now we are also going to populate the user. I wanted to show you what you get before the population, and I'm going to show you what you get after you populate this user right here. So if you want, you can follow along in the postman, or you can take a screenshot of it to compare the data, what you get before and what you get after. So after sorting, we are going to populate the user, and also we are going to populate comments.user. So now let's make a GET request again. And now you can see the user is itself an object, and it has all the properties from the user model. So we are going to use this information on the front end here. And before you could see the ID was being displayed right here in front of the user, but now it is a separate field, this ID field right here. So if you're populating, you're going to get a whole object with the information from the user model. But if you're not populating the data, you are going to simply get the user and the ID right there. You won't get a separate underscore ID field. And also you will get the same inside the comments. It will be comment.user and whatever the information is right there. So we're going to use this information on the front end. So now let's make another GET request. It is going to be get post by ID and router.get / and post ID. We're going to get it inside params. So auth middleware and request and response. Inside try catch, if there is any error again. So let's find this post. So wait post model dot find by ID. It is going to be request dot params dot post ID. And we are going to check if no post, return res dot status 404 dot send post not found. And if there is post, return res.json post. So let's check this out. I'm just going to copy the ID of this post right here. So this underscore ID is the ID of the post, and this user.underscore ID is the ID of the user who created it. So now let's make a GET request. Our route is going to be /API /posts and the post ID. And you can see you get the post. So now let's create the API route for deleting the post. Delete post. It is going to be delete request. And again, we are going to get it inside our params. So post ID. And we are going to need our middleware and also our request and response. So inside try catch, first of all, inside try, we are going to destructure out our user ID is equals to request. And also we're going to destructure out our post ID from request.params. So in here, we're going to find the post is equals to wait post model dot find by ID, and it is going to be post ID. And if no post, we are again going to just return with the status code 404 dot send post not found. And now we're going to search the user. So wait user model dot find by ID user ID. So here we are going to check if the user who is trying to delete this post is actually the user who has created this post. So if post dot user dot toString, so we are using this toString method because inside the post model you can see the post dot user is an object ID, it is not a string. So you have to convert it into a string first, otherwise it won't work ever. So if it is not equals to user ID, so again when we created the post, we set the user to the request.user ID, which is basically the user ID of the user who is logged in. So we are checking if it is not equals to user ID. Here we are going to check if the user dot role is equals to root. So when we created the user model, we set this role here, right here. By default it is user, but we are going to create a user whose role is going to be root, so that root user can delete any post he wants. So here we are going to check for that. If user.role is equals to root, we are going to wait post.remove, and we are going to return with the status code res.status 200.send post deleted successfully. And else we are going to return res.status 401.send unauthorized. So if post.user is not equals to user ID, that means the user who is trying to delete this post has not created this post. So then in that condition, we are going to check if the user who is trying to delete this post is his role is equals to root. Only then we are going to allow the post to be deleted. Otherwise, we are not going to allow it. So now let's write the code. If the user who has created this post is actually the user deleting it. So we're just going to copy these two lines right here and paste it. And that's it. That's all we need for this delete request here. So now let's check if it works. Our route is /and_post ID. That means that /API/posts and our ID right here. So I'm going to delete this post right here, second post only. And let's delete it. And you get the response, post deleted successfully. So now let's make a GET request and see the posts which are in our database. And we only have one post right here. So I'm going to make another post so that we have something to work with here. And the post is posted here. And let's make a GET request again. And here is our second post. So now in the next video, we are going to write the API routes for liking and unliking the post. So I will see you in the next video.